everyone, welcome. How's everybody doing today? I got up earlier today, so I was able to I had some admin to do in the morning. So I decided to do live a little earlier than I usually do. I usually do it at around 8 p.m. Eastern time, but I decided to do it today. To do it this time today. So yes, a little early, so I'm not expecting a lot of people to show up. I just want to make sure that I do live because after this, I'm probably going to go to sleep because I'm so tired. I hardly slept because I was looking at the JFK files and just breaking everything down. But I'm really excited to have you all. Welcome. I see some of you joining. So we'll get into it. I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope everybody's doing well. If you're re-watching, please let me know in the comment section how you are too. I appreciate that. And we'll just get right to it because I am a little tired. I had a lot to do. I lost my social security card, so I had to get a new one and stuff like that. So fun. Admin. Okay, so we're gonna start. Well, I'll read the charts first, but we'll start with A-Rod and Cameron Diaz. I actually saw A-Rod. I live in Miami, and I live close to him, which is very funny. And yeah, I live close to him, and I saw him walking. When I was walking, and he actually, this was what, 2 years ago? I cannot believe it. But yeah, I saw him walking 2 years ago. Time flies like crazy. And I didn't recognize him at first. I didn't realize that he was so dark. He was like darker than I am, I'm not shocked, but I was shocked. If that makes any sense. Complexion doesn't really matter, but I was just shocked. He's probably in the sun a lot. So in the beginning, I was like, is that A-Rod? Yeah, but anyways. So let me read his chart. I'll read both of the charts. I'm doing A-Rod and Cameron Diaz. I met Cameron Diaz. She was not very nice to me. I do have that story. I kind of have to get over it, but it's just, I used to love her movies. And like they say, don't meet your idols, because she was not very nice. I was a manager at a restaurant in Soho area, West Soho. And she was not very nice to me at all. She kind of treated me like the help, like get away from me. And I wasn't even being a fan type because when I work, I worked at many restaurants that are prominent in terms of I met many famous people. When I was at work, not at work, teaching yoga, that kind of thing. So I never act like a fan because some of my exes have been famous, and I just don't like that. I know that they value their privacy, and I don't want to be that kind of person, but she was just very rude, condescending, and she wasn't that nice to me, actually, which is kind of sad, but it's life. So let's read the charts. Let me open this up. So I'll start with Cameron Diaz, and her sun is in Virgo, moon is in Taurus, rising is in Cancer, and Venus is in Cancer. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Venus being in Cancer, I can see how she's been in these relationships that allegedly have not been that healthy. Let's just say that. Okay, and then with him, let's do his chart. So his sun is in Leo, moon is in Pisces, co-sign is rising, whereas Venus is in Virgo. So it's completely opposite. Well, let me not say that because a lot of the time, Virgos and Cancers can make great relationships. Sun in Virgo, Sun in Cancers. But the only difference when it comes to water signs and earth signs in general, most of them like stability too. But earth signs tend to be very direct, and water signs kind of take that. They can be very sensitive in receiving information. So through their charts, I get the idea that their relationship was, she wanted more, and he kind of felt like she was needy. I just get that vibe from the chart. So let's see what the tarot tells us. I'm using Earth Woman Tarot. Let's see what happened between them. Okay, so it seems like he was working a lot. I'm sure you guys know more than I do because I always say this, I don't really pay attention to celebrity news. I'm very into reality TV and like conspiracy stuff. That's why this JFK files release thing has sent me into a whirlwind. That's what I love. But with Ace of Pentacles and Ace of Wands, it seems as though he was working a lot and he was traveling a lot, and she would want more. She would be calling him, "Oh, I need this, Seven of Wands. Can you come do this for me? When are we gonna hang out?" Kind of coming across as like the needy girlfriend. And he's the kind of person, he likes to not be needed. He likes to take initiative, especially Sun and Leo. Fire signs are very much like that, where they like to initiate things. That's why fire signs do well with me, because I'm not the needy type. I don't really, I'm not, it's not bad if you are the needy type. It's really not. You just have to find what matches for you. I'm the opposite. I'm not avoidant, but I don't really nag. I don't like that. But some people do. Some people like it. Some people like to be nagged too. It just works. It's whatever works for you in your situation. And he found her to be naggy. He found her to be tiresome. He found her to be kind of, and I can see that, looking back, now that I've mentioned this related to when I met her, she just seemed very unhappy. But a lot of Sun and Virgos can be like that. A lot of Sun and Virgos can be very, I love Sun and Virgos. Let me not say anything particular about the Sun and Virgos that I know. But sometimes Sun and Virgos can be very critical, needy, and come across kind of like bitchy. So I'm not surprised. I thought she was a Leo actually all this time. So let's see what happened, what the current energy is. Yikes. So I don't think things were, I think in their relationship, things went south fast. I get the energy that he was messaging, she found a text, something like that, and it really upset her. Nine of Swords, Three of Swords, it really upset her, and she never ever got over it. So I see that sometimes they might see each other. She is married now. I don't think he's seeing anybody. Is he seeing anybody? I don't get that energy. I don't see anybody in the picture. If he is, it's not serious. But she always remembers, she uses the heartbreak she went through with him as a reminder of her power, which I think is a great thing, actually. She's married to one of the Madden brothers. I can't remember if it's Benji or Joel. Oh, Benji, because Joel's married to Nicole Richie. But she always uses that as a reminder to remind her of what she went through, which I think is a very good thing. I think their relationship is partially why she disappeared. He had a real effect on her. He had a real effect on her, and she went through it when they broke up. She went through, which I don't wish upon anybody, even though she wasn't very nice to me. In fact, she was nasty to me. But even though she was like that to me, I still wish her lots of happiness and healing. And, when she said, I saw actually an article, because I always remember that experience. I'd say her and America Ferrera were really mean. America Ferrera was just very uptight and demanding. But Cameron Diaz was like she looked me up and down. I've never had an experience close to that. And I wouldn't just say that, it was the kind of experience that even if she wasn't famous, I would still say, wow, she was nasty. Um, and it turned out to be Cameron Diaz. And like I said, I've watched almost, up until that point, I'd watched almost every Cameron Diaz movie. I used to love her as an actress. And since then, I was like, I'm good. I'm good. So when she said she left Hollywood, I understood why, because she seemed miserable. Even her body language was very hunched over. She was like this and just very unhappy. And, I was very young at the time. It was 10 years ago. Not very young, but I was 26. So I was, young and amongst these Hollywood types, very kind of, I wouldn't say I was I wouldn't say I was naive, but I had an innocence about me, and I think sometimes people pick up that innocence, especially when you're old and you're jaded. I've seen lots of older jaded people, they see innocence and they hate it because they think, what are you so happy about? Or why are you so positive? That kind of thing. That's the energy that I got, is that, why are you so happy? And when she left Hollywood, I understood. I got it. Okay, so let's move on. Unless anybody wants to say anything. No, so let's move on. I'm going to move on to SHERYL Crow and Lance Armstrong. So these two. I've always really loved SHERYL Crow. I love her music. I don't really know her as a person, like I said, but I used to love her music growing up. Soak Up the Sun is one of my favorite songs. She is a fellow Aquarius, fellow February Aquarius. To me, she's very Aquarius. Like the light side of Aquarius, easygoing, fun, happy. And actually, I was watching Billy Bush's podcast, and he was talking about um, the whole Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively scandal. And he said the closest thing that he can remember to this is Lance Armstrong denying that he was doping. And remember, he denied it for years and years and years. He denied it for almost 10 years. And then one of his former athletes told on him that he was doping, and they did extreme things to win. And it's very sad, when you do that kind of stuff. It's just very sad that you think that your worth is in winning, that you'll go to those extremes just to win. But anyways, so I think a lot of people dope. It's just Lance was exposed for it. He lied and lied and lied. And I remember in 2015, it was when I was living in London. And I remember watching, actually, a press conference. I remember sitting on our couch and watching a press conference that came about him, and he was doping, and he said, he was like, I haven't doped. And you could just see he was lying, when you could tell people lie, but he carried that lie through. And, one of my spiritual teachers used to always say, the only people you can really lie to is yourself. And he is living proof of that. Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, living proof of that. And also find it funny that he's a Virgo, another Virgo. So let's read the charts, and then I'll get into the tarot. Let's see. Okay, SHERYL Crow. She's a Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Taurus, Rising in Taurus, and Venus in Aquarius. Wow, we have actually very similar charts, her and I. Oh my gosh, except my Uranus is in Capricorn. My Pluto's in Scorpio, but other than that, it's very similar. And my Jupiter's in Capricorn, but everything else is very similar. Oh, my rising's in Libra, but everything else is very, very similar. Wow, maybe that's why I like her so much. You like what's familiar to you. And let's see his Sun in Virgo, Moon in Virgo, Venus in Libra, and North Node in Aquarius. Couldn't find rising. Interesting, very, very interesting. So from the chart, I get the idea. Venus, well, they say Aquarius and Libra go well together. I think because I have Earth in my chart, they don't really go well for me, because I don't really do the airy. I don't like wishy-washy people, and I find lots of Aries. Excuse me. I find lots of Libras to be wishy-washy, and I find them to be very indecisive. And I don't like indecisive people. I like people who know what they want and are very direct. I don't do the wishy-washy, change your mind all the time. I don't do that. So with their Venus, hers in Aquarius and his in Libra, I get that, and her having Earth in her chart, he might have been in and out of her life a lot. And in the beginning, she kind of understood it. And then after some time, she would see him with other women. I get this sense, the energy, and also from the chart, that he kind of was like a player to her. Virgo men can be players. Woo! I have definitely seen that. Virgo men can be players. So let's see what happened. I'm going to read the tarot. I'm using the Pixel Soleil tarot, by the way. see. Okay, so I see him possibly cheating on her. I don't know if you guys know what happened. We can also look it up by tabloids. I don't know if it's going to be accurate, but energetically I pick up Strength, Four of Cups, and the Hanged Man. That he kind of dumped her by disappearing, by ghosting her, which is very Venus and Libra. Libras do the ghosting thing. And he left her questioning, where'd you go? What happened? I see her being very emotionally mature. I like her energy a lot. I've always liked SHERYL Crow. I don't know her personally, but the energy I pick up on, she's very easygoing. I have an Aquarius childhood friend who's like her, who's so sweet and easygoing and, doesn't really get upset about things. She knows to let things go. I see that with her a lot, is that he put her through hell, but she learned to make the most of it. And she learned to say, it's not worth it to be upset. It's not worth it to get all worked up. I'm just going to alchemize it. So let's see what the current energy is. Okay, so she really had a hard time, I think, even telling him how she felt, Queen of Swords in reversed, because he would always, not always, let me not say that, he would continually blame her for the breakup. He seems to me like the kind of person, which is, Son of Virgos can be like this, the shadow side. I love Son of Virgos, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying every zodiac sign has its positive and negative. And something that he needs to work on is accepting, number one, accountability, which I'm thinking of the doping thing, and accepting that how he feels might be different to how somebody else feels. And that's something therapy has really taught me. I've been in and out of therapy since I was a kid. My parents got divorced. And something therapy has taught me is that just because I viewed a relationship a way doesn't mean that the other person views it the same way. Just because I feel hurt doesn't mean the other person doesn't feel hurt, So she's had a difficult time explaining to him how, I think he reaches out to her from time to time. And when she explains to him, in order for us to move forward, you'll have to assume accountability. He's like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I was great to you. I was great. And she thinks to herself, oh my gosh, I cannot have this person in my life because he's very guarded. He's very two-dimensional. She's 5-dimensional. He's 2-dimensional. And they're just different ways. I'm surprised they could even have a relationship, honestly. Because they seem like two very different people. So the Knight of Pentacles and Page of Pentacles, I think that they had some kind of business together, something that made them money. She was involved in it. I see it being his, and he was involved in it. And he was doing something shady with it. And it taught her about money and who to trust with money. I see that very, very strongly. So, yeah, let's move on to the next. Very interesting, somebody recommended this couple, famous exes, for this live, and I always thought I need to do it. And I never really did it. In fact, with the Billy Bush situation, when he was talking about, not situation, but the podcast, he was talking about the Lance Armstrong situation and how it's very similar to Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. I thought, let me do a Lance Armstrong. And then, so this person recommended it. I thought, so fitting. So, yeah. Okay, let's move on to last but not least. Let's stop the sharing. And last but not least is Gisele and Tom Brady. So I'm going to read her chart first. Okay, so her sun is in Cancer. Her moon is in Scorpio. Venus is in Gemini, rising as a Capricorn. I say this all the time about Venus in Gemini. Venus and Geminis will have many long-term partners. Whether they get married or not, they'll have they'll have like a string of long-term relationships. Kind of similar to Elizabeth Taylor type. Those type of people. That's Venus in Gemini. She's a great example of that. I don't know if she has a Venus in Gemini, but Venus in Gemini, and her rising is a Capricorn. Interesting. So let's look at his chart, Tom Brady, who I used to have such a huge crush on. I don't know if I do anymore, but I used to definitely have a huge crush on him a while ago. Not anymore, but okay. So his sun is in Leo, moon is in Aries, and rising is in Libra. I can see the rising in Libra, and Venus is in Cancer. So with him, it makes a lot of sense how they ended up breaking up. Because, and I did a lot of videos about it, so check those out. But her Venus, um, her Venus being Gemini, her resolution to problems, from what I saw, is that it's her way of resolving. If she doesn't get her way, she's out. But his Venus being Cancer is translates to me that he wants to make things work. He'll go through relationships even if it's terrible. The relationship has died a long time ago. There's no chemistry anymore. The person has to break up with him for him to move forward. He'll never break up with that person. And I don't know about his past relationships, but that's what ended up playing out with her. Is that she ended up leaving him. He will never do the breaking up. Maybe I should do a future love for Tom Brady. Okay, so I'm going to use the good tarot for this. I've already done many what happened before, so I'm just going to do a current energy. She just gave birth. Congratulations, Giselle. She just gave birth to her third child with Joaquin. I forgot his last name. I love the name Joaquin. Oh my gosh. And he's Brazilian too. Let's see. Current energy. Okay, so he'll always have love for her. I see him having very strong love for her. Temptation, 3 of water, but now it's transformed to like a love, like a friendship love. He's always been very I don't know. I just see in this situation, I think that they both mean well. I do. I just think that they have a different love language. And I'm honestly surprised that they stayed together so long. And I know they have those beautiful 2 children. I don't think children are ever the reason to stay, but he would have stayed for the children. And she doesn't see it like that. Venus and Gemini, she doesn't see it like that. She sees it as though I have to be happy. My kids have to see me happy. If they see me crying all the time, that's not a good sign for me. That's not a good sign. But I get the sense that his parents went through a lot. They're still together too. And his parents going through a lot in their marriage taught him or trained him to always stay, especially also his Venus being Cancer. So he actually wishes her well. They're in a good space right now. Except I feel like she's kind of controlling his love life. I think he tries to date and she controls his love life. I get that Queen of Water, 9 of Water, where she's kind of trying to control him. He can't control her, but she's kind of controlling about him, the Magician. That's why I get that. She's kind of controlling behind the scenes. And if he tries to date another model, she'll say, hey, what are you trying to do? Kind of being sneaky. So I think that's why he doesn't really date models anymore. But you know what? I'm going to do future Tom Brady love reading because I just recorded one for Awesome. But I think next week I'm going to do a future love for Tom Brady because I really wish him a lot of happiness. I think he has a good heart. I think he means well. And even I saw him speak. I didn't see him physically, but I saw this interview that he did with PBD podcast that actually made me think, oh my gosh, I find people that speak intellectually so attractive. If you have an understanding of life and you understand spirituality, that kind of thing, it just draws me to people. and he was speaking about how life has ended up working out for him, and it was very poignant. And he just oozes charisma, honestly. Especially Sun and Leos have that charisma; they just ooze charisma. So I wish both of them very well, especially she just gave birth, and I wish her lots of happiness in her relationship. So yeah, let me end this live. It's been so much fun. You guys are so quiet today, which is fine. I'm honestly so tired, so it's okay. I was considering not doing the live, and I thought, let me show up, because if I don't show up once, and then it's gonna be a recurring thing. So I made sure to show up for you guys. And yeah, I'm going to do some exercise, eat, and sleep because I'm so tired. But it's been so much fun. I love you all. And please stay tuned for next week. I will have obviously Famous Exes live again. And yeah, I do take suggestions, especially if you're a subscriber or member. I will definitely make the suggestion unless it goes against my boundaries. I don't do it against. I don't do readings on people that I personally know and have some kind of relationship or friendship with. So you make a suggestion and I don't make it, that's probably the reason why. Or on pregnant women and stuff like that. So yeah. So that for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. Please don't forget to like the video and comment if you're watching replay. Comment. That's much appreciated. Take care.